you're done. You can't let him get into a rhythm. It's you've got, that's what Damien Harris did such a good job of in race 1, really on his case and really making those overtaking manoeuvres. But so easier said than done, isn't it? I mean, Guinness, he's so consistent, he's so quick. A relatively new signing to HM Engineering, I believe. He had actually only signed for the team 2 months ago. So I'm sure they're pretty happy with their with their acquisition. But as we say, I'm sure Ollie Slade, well, Damien Owen Harris is a bit of an early Christmas present for Fiercely Forward. He's been doing a cracking job all season long, actually. He's been super, super consistent.
He has. He's been doing a wonderful, wonderful job. And it's no surprise, really, that he's leading the championship with such consistency. And I hope to see it continue that way for him, to be honest. I think he's done a wonderful, wonderful job. And if anything, I think this race win will probably give him the title. I'm pretty confident we can say that. But this at the moment, between Miguel Freitas and his teammate Norbert Lightner, that's Guinness's teammate Norbert Lightner, once again these guys stuck together. And he's been a bit of a Newton's cradle in this race, hasn't he, Miguel? Because he keeps sort of dropping back a little bit into the hands of Fraser Smith, and then going forward again to attack Norbert Lightner.
Oh, he's like a Jimmy Shand accordion.
I don't know where you get these from, but I love it.
Which means it's going back and forth.
I imagine so. This is Matthias Tatij, who's hopefully just going forwards at the moment. With Vizbicki right in front of him, that's easier said than done a lot of the time. He tries to brake late round the outside, nothing doing there. And he's going to run wide on the exit as well. Sometimes you can just tuck in behind the other car, but when you've got a bit of an overlap on the exit, it doesn't quite work that way. And they use all of the road on the exit. You can get a slowdown penalty there as well if you're not careful. Anton Dupan all over the back of Michael Blake. This is for second place in the consistency class as well. Scott Malcolm's 3.6 seconds up the road. So Scott Malcolm is looking to take that class win. Down the inside goes Anton Dupan. Nothing doing there either. He's got to be careful though, because Ashley Gaffal is right behind him too. Whether he can make a move. Anton's decided that he doesn't want to be on the circuit anymore. He wants to try on the grass. But coming into what will be the last couple of corners then, up through Sheen Curve towards Stirling's, is Corentin Guinez. And to be honest, Peter, we saw him in the first round and thought, well, he's a championship contender, and I'm pretty confident to say that this will give him the title. It's another win this season for Corentin Guinez of HM Engineering. Beautiful performance. Damien Harris pushes him home, though, to second place. Great drive from him. But Corentin Guinez is pretty much confirmed as your champion, everybody. Miguel Freitas, great fourth place finish there. 2 HM Engineering cars on the podium with Norbert Lightner in third. Scott Malcolm wins the consistency class. What a great drive from Scott. 2 places gained from where he started. Oh, Michael Blake's gone in the pit lane at the last moment. That could have been a 1-2 for them in that class. Ryan Walker, though, for Nomad Sim Racing, he'll be over the moon. He'll be walking on sunshine, you could say, to take the win in the Academy class. Daniele Giudici second there. That helps his championship fight there as well. But wow, battles aplenty once again, Peter, but a familiar race winner.
Indeed, battles aplenty, but I tell you what, race 3 is going to be using the handbrake to full effect there. It's Corentin Guinez, very cool. Yeah, I think we're going to have an absolute thriller in race 3, as we always do, but I think particularly so in this race because we see the cars. There's not been any driver really been able to clear off. There've been lots of kind of jinking back and forward, and of course Corentin Guinez will have to come through from 10th spot. So yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure.
It will indeed. So we'll go through the results of the race. Once the final drivers across the line, we'll just wait for a couple. I think it's Niels Mansanden just coming around the final corner for Ignium. And that is round 14 of the Z1 Dashboard Simracersworld TCR Winter Series done with. And we do indeed have results from that race to show you now. Corentin Guinez takes another race win from Damien Harris and Norbert Lightner, with Miguel Freitas fourth ahead of Fraser Smith. We then have Naveed Hussein and Matthew Crisp, with Chris Wood and Mark Woodhouse just behind. Nico Vizbicki finishes 10th, with Matthias Tatij 11th ahead of Mats Borg Anderson and Gregory Vranks. Scott Malcolm wins the Academy class, as we said. Sorry, the consistency class. Apologies, Scott. Anton Dupan second, Taylor Lane third. Ryan Walker wins the academy class ahead of Jason Rowe, with Jessica Myers up to 19th place. Great drive there from the back of the grid. Paul King 20th. Keanu Bourguignon 21st ahead of Daniele Giudici and Joachim Gulbrandsen. Then we have Brand class, Scotty Angelo and Ben Thanes ahead of Jack Taylor and Neil Stevenson. Jean-Louis Deschamps inside the top 30 ahead of Ashley Gaffall. Then it's Jason Guerrara and Rob Jackson, with Niels Mansanden, the last car, on the lead lap. Behind him was Michael Blake, Craig Schill, Ross Nicholson, Dean Timms and Niles de Kuiper, we lost early on due to that massive hit. So, the guys are now just going to have their little warm-up session, and there doesn't seem to be any cars out on track at the minute, although I say that, Mats Borg Anderson is out on the circuit. But Peter and I are just going to take a quick 4 to 5 minute break, just to get a quick drink and just recoup what energy we have, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes for the third and final race of the night. Okay, hello again, everybody. Apologies for the dropout earlier in the stream. It seems that limited bandwidth when people are trying to work is not a good thing, but we power on and we get through. Chaz Draycott here with Peter MacKay. Peter, we've had, again, we find ourselves here just ahead of the third race after just some unbelievable door-to-door action. It's just been epic, hasn't it? Anton Dupan in the chat as well. Hello.
Yes, hello, Mr. Steady Eddie, Anton Dupan. Great to have you here. Yeah, it's been some superb racing and amazing respect between the drivers, because normally, most of the time, when you watch touring car league racing here and iRacing, it's pretty aggressive. In fact, aggressive is fine, but just sort of big kind of clumsy moves are not fine. And there hasn't really been any of that. There's been good hard racing, but there hasn't even been any moments really where you've gone, oh, what are they doing there? That's just a bit daft. But there's been none of that. There's been brilliant camaraderie and respect amongst the drivers.
And obviously we've seen sometimes when there's been a little bit of argy-bargy, maybe a move that was a bit questionable, we've seen drivers giving those places back. You know, some of these guys have been really, really kind and waited just to say, look, I hold my hands up, sorry mate, you can go through. They do use a penalty point system in this channel, like a license point system within Simracersworld that they implemented recently, so drivers can serve, basically they can serve penalties like not qualifying or missing a race and so on, to sort of soak up some of those license points. And then when you get to a certain amount, then a penalty gets forced on you. Basically, you get just told this is what's happening. You've got a race ban or something like that. And it's been a really good system. You know, they started doing it in the Simracersworld GT Evo and GT Pro series. A lot of the drivers loved it. You get a couple of points taken away if you can jump into one of the official sessions that they do for practice and actually do a number of laps, I believe. So long as you've sort of shown that you're willing to improve and put the practice in for the upcoming round, which I think is a nice thing, because a lot of the time in sim racing especially, I don't think practice, when it comes to a league environment, gets the sort of, I can't think, gets the attention, would you say? But it doesn't get the respect it deserves, really, for people that really try and put the hours in. What do you reckon?
I mean, I think it's something that's just critical, because unlike, completely different from real world motor racing, where even if you're a billionaire, there is very much a cap on how much practice you can do in terms of availability of car, track, and things like that. But in the sim, your practice is pretty much unlimited. It's a little bit like being a snooker player or a darts player. That there is absolutely no, you can have a pool table in a bedroom if you wanted, or a dartboard in a bedroom, and all the top players in that kind of sport will be practicing 8 or 9 hours a day. In sim racing, the guys that are at the top level, that's what they're doing. You know, the guys that are racing in the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup or the iRacing Rallycross World Championship, that is the level of commitment they will put into it. It's very much a professional approach, and that does filter down. And if you want to win, if you want to compete for championships, you need to be doing 2-3 hours a day at least to be able to be competitive. And if you don't, you will be found out.
Yep, you will indeed. That's a nice simple way of putting it. Ryan Walker just won a race in the was it the academy class? Yes, it was academy class, with Daniele Giudici second in that class as well. He's on the brink of being the champion in that one, and to be honest, Ryan will be very, very pleased to have taken a class win in that one. He's done a very good job indeed. But we've only got a couple of seconds now until the third and final race of the night. Top 10 on the grid reversed. And we're in for a belter. Trust me, everybody, if you've not seen these top 10 reverse grids before. Oh, the iRacing weird shadows at Brands Hatch are out again. Love it. We've got low light here as well, Peter. So this should be a very, very interesting one, this. Really should be.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have any drivers called Rasmus in the shadows here.
Wow. Wow, indeed. Nico Vejbicki, pole position from Mark Woodhouse and Chris Mad. So Chris Wood. So 2 Team Mad cars in the top 3. I'm going mad. Matthew Crisp is 4th, ahead of Naveed Hussein and Fraser Smith. Miguel Freitas 7th, Norbert Lightner in 8th. Then it's Damien Harris and Corentin Guinez in 10th. And the rest of your grid will now filter through. But it's that time again, Peter. Got a winner?
Ooh, now there's a Miguel Freitas.
Miguel Freitas, that's a very interesting choice indeed, and I wholeheartedly agree. The man who is starting 7th on the grid needs to hold his ground ahead of Norbert Lightner, Damien Harris and Corentin Guinez to make sure he gets to the front first. But before all that, the guys at the very front will need to get away and try and hold their own as well. And we're going to get a lot of battling early on in this race. The lights are going to come on, and round 15 of the Z1 dashboard Simracersworld TCR Winter Series from Brands Hatch is away. Now Michael Blake flying down the order, obviously being in the pit lane. And look at that from Mark Woodhouse around the outside of Nico. Oh, Chris Wood's gone very deep in there. He's run wide indeed. Down the inside of him goes Naveed Hussain. Then you've got Fraser Smith in there as well. He's looking to the inside. I think he might have had a bit of a tap from behind. That is Miguel Freitas in there. Norbert Lightner's around the outside. Damien Harris and Corentin Guinez make a bit of contact as well. Oh, there's a car around. No, it's Ryan Walker. He just won a race in his class. And he's off. Everyone flies past him. He's got to wait to get back on. Not many incidents so far tonight, though, in the start of these races, Peter. And I think that's, to be fair, to trade an incident-packed night for that, I'd do that any day of the week. No offence, Ryan.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with the win. That's for sure. And yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there, but it happens. So you see Naveed Hussain making a strong start to this race in the 007
Oh.
car. Smith has a well held, sir. Wow. Oh, there you go. I tell you what we should do for a little bit of an end of last day of school kind of prank. Do you think we should attach the Fraser Smith's headlight flashing button to the horn? That would be funny. You're a computer whiz. You know how to do that, Chaz.
Well, I know in a different sim you can map a horn button. Oh no, Scott Malcolm's off. Oh, Scott Malcolm's off big time as well at Sterling's. There is another sim where on the touring cars you can map a horn. Don't join there, Scott. Needs to do that a bit further on. But I accidentally managed to map that as the same button as my push to talk in Discord once. So every time I tried to speak to anybody, the car was flying around with the horn on. So eventually there was about 15 of us. I was actually racing with Paul O'Neill and the likes of Abby Eaton, Tom Brooks. Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Mark Woodhouse.
God, I think that was Mark Woodhouse dropped in the gravel just like that name drop from Chaz Draycott there.
It was more of a name napalm, wasn't it, really, that one, a carpet bomb. Look at that, though. Oh, I don't know how to call that one. Damien really just tried to turn in as best he could. We also had Ross Nicholson go off the circuit as well. Oh, that sounded like some sort of jet fighter as it went around the first corner then. Some very strange sound effect there as the sound effects synchronise. Love that, but Chris Wood will be thinking, oh heck, is that what happens when you try and overtake a fiercely forward car? They've actually got alternating front lights out of the two fiercely forward cars around him. The car in front, Matthew Crisp, has got his, I think it's the front left light. No, the front right light not on. And then Damien Owen Harris has broken his front left. There's more contact now. Chris Wood and Naveed Hussain down the inside. Damien says thank you very much, boys. Just behind this, by the way, Fraser Smith has got Corentin Guinez and Norbert Lightner. Miguel Freitas is down to 11th place. So he's not had the start that he wanted. As in the background as well, that is, I think, Jason Rowe down the inside who'd just gone off. Ben Thayen's trying to climb his way up. He's gained 8 places in 2 laps, Peter.
Yeah, that's a really, really impressive move up the field, isn't it? It's yeah, and it's they don't come easy, as you can see. Oh no, I've cursed Miguel Freitas. Oh dear.
Oh, and Chris Wood.
He's had a slowdown, but Miguel Freitas, he's dropped all the way back as well. Oh dear.
It's imploded for Team Mad. They had 2 of them in the top 3. Mark Woodhouse has been turned off the circuit with that contact with Damien. Now it's 2 Team Mad cars against 2 Flemish cars, and then you've got the 2 fiercely forward cars behind them as well. So we've got a little 6-pack of Audi RS3s. And Ollie saying that's what they call a crispy cutback, and it's an inside joke. But look at this young lad here, Nico Wijbicki, the Polish driver at the front for Ignium Motorsport. He is flying. But Matthew Crisp on his home circuit, don't forget, we said this earlier, didn't we? It's his home track, so he wants to do well. Now is the time, for sure.
It certainly is, yeah, absolutely. He's, I wonder if he's, I tell you what, he should be driving for Team Tyrrell, should he not, Matthew Crisp?
I'm trying my best, but I can't get there on that one, I'm afraid.
Okay, Tyrrell Formula One team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and Tyrrell's the posh brand of Kettle Crisp.
Oh, it is. Oh, flipping it. Why didn't I think of that? Yes, indeed. Well, it would be a nice little partnership. We might have to see what we can sort out with that. Well, we might have to just put a nice little Tyrrell logo just somewhere. Ollie, can you put that on Matt's car, please? Nice little Tyrrell logo in the corner. But there's two fiercely forward cars on the podium at the moment. We have got Dying Light here. The headlights just came on that previous lap. The frame rate thanked me for it. But Fraser Smith, wow, look at that to the inside. Never mind full send racing. He's trying to go fiercely forward. Oh, fiercely sideways into Damien Harris. He says, have some of that, mate. This is what a different coloured door handle tastes like. As, oh, still he hangs it round the outside. As, oh, Fraser runs him out of road. Damien tries to enter the World Rallycross Championship in the saloon Audi rather than the little S1 that they tend to use, but feisty stuff as ever from Fraser. I tell you what, he may be on triples now, but he may not have used to be... That's a great sentence, Charles. He may not used to have been able to see who he was running out of road, but now he's fully aware and saying, "Oh, get off it." That's a joke, Fraser. Don't worry, mate.
I know you're angry when you use your Sunday name, Charles.
Yeah, that's when I know I'm in trouble when someone shouts Charles. So, especially my mum, but I barely see her at the minute. Hi, mum. Anton Dupan, even though he's just been overtaken by his teammate Keanu Reeves, Beef Bourguignon, he still leads the consistency class. But how about this? Jessica Myers, currently second in that class, in touch with the race leader here. That's a really good turnaround from a very difficult start to the evening with a qualifying and race ban.
Well, clearly that race on the naughty step has been the making of her, the young lady.
Yeah. As indeed. Now, here is your champion-elect, Corentin Guinez. Down the main straight, the spec map on that car looking fantastic in this low light as well. Absolutely in love with it. Into turn one, just behind Damien Owen Harris now, trying to stick with him. Matthew Crisp does the fastest lap of the race. He's 1.1 seconds off the back of Nico Vejdicki. Dan Mould in chat saying a ban does you good. I know. Fair enough. I'm not going to go into too much depth about that one, but at least you're back. That's the main thing. And gap between Guinez and Harris is 63 points in the championship. So, to be fair, it's actually still on mathematically. So apologies, Corentin, or anybody that's a fan of Corentin, but it's going to take a lot to change it, though, either way, isn't it, Peter?
Yeah, it would appear so. Yeah, and certainly Corentin Guinez now just getting into his stride in a kind of Ryan Parkins King Hippo kind of style here, just taking his time in the reverse grid race, picking his moments, just sliding his way through when he can, and now he's right on the back of Damien Harris here, and just sells the dummy there and actually gets into a bit of a tank slapper in doing so. And Damien Harris, I suspect that when or if he catches up to the back of Fraser Smith, I think he's got a little bit of a nice icy cold dish of revenge to serve, because I think he'll be pretty peeved about being effectively just squeezed onto the grass.
Yeah, it's not something that makes you happy. I can tell you that for free. It's certainly something
especially when you know the person has triple screens and has the peripheral vision.
Yeah, very true indeed. Very. I think Fraser, I'm afraid, is not going to see the end of those jokes. Or he might do. Depends how wide the joke is. If it's 5,860 pixels by 1080, we'll have to see. There's a nerdy one for you. Right then, Norbert Lightner, other than Nico Vejdicki, who started on pole, is the only car in the top 15 that is currently where he started at the moment. And there's drivers around him that have gained 5 places, 4 places, 3, 8. Someone's dropped 9. That's Chris Wood. So he's very much been the central strong point of this top 15 at the moment, and he's just watching it all go on around him, and I imagine enjoying it, because when you're in the middle of a pack like this, while the races can be a little bit stressful and chaotic from your point of view, they can be so much fun with all this going on, and this is why people get into sim racing. You know, the battling you can have in these cars is just awesome, and we're seeing more of that now as Miguel Freitas all over the back of the McNuggets share box.
Yeah, we're getting a really close look, aren't we? It's with that. Whoa!
Oh, hello!
Oh, hello! Jeepers creepers coming through towards Stirling's there. And, Miguel Freitas was getting a really good close look at the inside of the back of that Audi. Seeing what brand of golf clubs Mats Borg Anderson has got in the boot of that Audi.
Yeah, indeed. Well,
tailor-made, maybe.
You never know. You never know. Just behind this as well, Gregory Vranks. Not seen much of Gregory tonight. He's usually completely welded at the hip to his Simracersworld Esports teammate of Matthias Titij. But Matthias just a bit further ahead in the top 10 in 7th place. Gregory now down the inside of Mats Borg Anderson. Doesn't quite work. Oh, there's a touch on the right rear. Matt's car gets out of shape. Oh, we've seen that before. That's an absolute nightmare. It's just like it locks up that rear and it just completely slides outwards, wheel-to-wheel contact. Not what you want in touring cars. We've seen it many a time in the BTCC. Broken toe links is a very common thing. And something that's a common thing now is Virsbicki having to defend from Matthew Crisp. He wants this home win. He's got just over 10 minutes to do this. But he knows that Fraser Smith is behind him. He wants to get ahead of Virsbicki and run away as quickly as possible. Now, Nico doesn't get a great run out of Westfield. He's all over the road trying to defend. The car getting a bit of a tap here and there for Matthew Crisp, I imagine. Matthew takes a bit of a conserved line. But look, already Fraser Smith is with them. That gap was 1.1 seconds 2 corners ago, Peter.
Yeah, I just thought as soon as it happened, I thought the chasing pack are going to be on them in no time. And Fraser Smith, he's needed absolutely no invitation at all. He's straight into this pack now. And I tell you what, as soon as if they keep battling even more, which it looks like they're going to, then Damien Harris and Corentin Guine are going to be right on top.
Fraser Smith looks to the inside. Matthew Crisp says, no. No, thank you. None of that. Guinness does the fastest lap of the race, just behind Damien Owen Harris. And what can he do about making a move? He's just doing it right at the moment, this Corentin. He's not making daft moves or just jumping out or anything. He's just doing what he's doing. And once he's got the pace over the driver in front, he'll just pounce at the right moment. And it's that sort of patience, although he's giving himself 15 horsepower more by flashing the lights, obviously. It's the patience in these moments that sorts that out as Fraser Smith has gone past Matthew Crisp. What happened here? Well, he's got down the inside early on. I think he just outbrakes Matthew. Nicely done into Surtees.
Move.
Yeah, it's not easy to do that, is it, on the inside of Surtees? Because it's very easy to run wide.
No, it looked like maybe Matthew Crisp ran a fraction wide, and that just allowed him to get the first phase of the move started, and then the rest was kind of sewing up. But this is interesting now. Well, whereas Bicky, we've seen how well he can defend and he can make that car wide, but very much at the expense of lap time. So, I mean, look at the pack that are just forming up behind here. And we've still got a good bit of time left. We've got over 7.5 minutes to go in this race. So plenty of time for the guys behind to catch up too.
Yep, this is far from over yet. This battle behind as well is amazing. You've got Naveed Hussein in there, Matthias Titij, and then on the back of it, Norbert Lightner. Then it's 1.8 seconds back to Miguel Freitas. But Naveed is literally watching two of the championship protagonists here go head to head. He's got Corentin Guinez, Damien Harris. Feels the need to defend. Naveed Hussein chucks it up the inside of Corentin Guinez. I didn't see that coming. As down the inside he goes. Have some of that. Wow. Very, very feisty stuff from Naveed.
Yeah, turns out that paint, you don't want that paint looks good on a race car, but you don't want it plastered. You don't want it plastered all over a shirt or on the door handle of an HM Engineering Audi either. It would appear equally unpleasant.
Yeah, that was very strong stuff, as it's strong stuff here again from Virsbicki. He's going to choose his line as they go down Pilgrim's Drop, just to see what he can do to fend off Fraser Smith. Fraser around the outside, he got run out of room in race 1 there. Fair play this time though, there was no overlap. And Virsbicki still leading this race somehow. Fraser tries to get a good run out of Westfield. Oh,
here it goes.
Oh, look at that. Opens the door into Sheen Curve. There's a bit of a touch. He does a good job in making sure there wasn't heavier contact there. Fair play to Fraser. But Virsbicki, great defending so far. He's just putting the car where it needs to be. But look how much he's backed everybody up into one another. The whole top 10 is covered by 1.7 seconds. Sorry, top 8. Apologies.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And that's just kind of allowed Matthew Crisp to kind of recover a little bit as we've got Jason Rowe off. But where's Bicky? Look at that. Very clever placement. Just covers off. Not enough room to go the inside, but gives himself a good enough entry in. Can he cover off? He knows he's got to cover the inside quickly. There he goes. To make sure that now will Fraser-Smith try and do the round the outside and then get the cut back down towards Graham Hill Bend? He tries, but where's Bicky? Sees it coming. He says, I know that move. I wrote the playbook, pal.
Oh, there's contact behind. That's Naveed Hussein still side by side with Corentin Guinez. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there again as well. Down the inside now is Matthias Teach. There's heavier contact and Guinez is sideways. Gets on with it. Well, that was a big, big hit that for Guinez. Let's have a look at that again. So this was down the hill. In towards, it's just a bit of door-to-door rubbing there, isn't it, really, as they went through there. Not too hefty at all.
No, thankfully didn't actually. It could have actually been quite a bit worse. I mean, it could have broken some. Well, I don't know if the steering's entirely straight in that 333 Audi of Corentin Guinez. That looks okay, but I think we'll need to just give it a lap or two to see that, because he's had a couple of heavy hits to the side, and these cars, they are built well to a point, but eventually they do begin to crumble. So hopefully for Guinez, he hasn't got too much of an issue there.
Fingers crossed indeed. But Fraser-Smith still going for this race lead on Wijbicki, but wow, somehow holding on now. Has Fraser got down the inside? Nico says absolutely not. Not in your life. Fraser tries to carry the speed in again. He's not going to have the overlap on the exit, but he needs to think about Matthew Crisp being there too. He wants to put his nose down the inside. Everybody's queuing up. It's like he's got a Pfizer vaccine in the boot. Honestly, everybody wants a bit. But Nico Wijbicki is holding on. He's got under 4 minutes to go now. So he's nearly eaten into half of the time that we mentioned that he had before.
It could be that he's got a boot full of other Pfizer product that they invented. You know that Pfizer invented the sorry, the name has escaped me now. I'm just the Viagra pill.
Oh, well, there's plenty of blue all over that car, but look at this now. There's plenty of Fraser-Smith around the outside of it. Still can't get it done, although can he? He's got a good run through Westfield around the outside. He's got to be careful here because Matthew Crisp is going to want to go down the inside. Can he hold it around the outside? Will Nico give him the room? There's more contact. Robbins racing, boys. Fraser-Smith holds on. Is he going to get the lead from this? Look at Wijbicki somehow holding on again. Has he done it? Has Fraser got the run off the corner, or will Wijbicki get it down the inside of Clayways? He will not. Fraser defends it hard racing, but still brilliant stuff from these leaders. There's more contact as well. Matthew Crisp wants in. Don't hit the pit wall, sunshine. That's very feisty stuff. Wow, Wijbicki's going to be sweating buckets at this rate, mate.
Wow, brilliant stuff. Oh, massive!
Oh, no!
Massive. Now that's Damien Harris. That could be big for the championship, because that was big contact there, and they just sort of bounced off the pit wall there. Oh, well, that's huge. And look at that. Guinez now getting beaten up there. He's all the way down. Now, where is he? He's in 9th now and hurting. Yeah,
this top 9. Oh, there's contact with Freitas as well. Oh, it's all gone to pot. There's just cars off everywhere. This is epic racing all the same. The entire top 10, top 12 all together now. 3.8 seconds covering all of them. It's just unbelievable racing. But it had to give at some point. Wijbicki is not scared of getting his elbows out. You can sometimes tell the real racers apart from the sim racers, and these guys, they are feisty indeed. But Fraser-Smith is the one that leads this race now, looking for a win ahead of Matthew Crisp. Naveed Hussein's benefited from this. Damien Harris is 5th. Matthias de Tige Matthias de Tige is 5th. Damien Owen Harris is 5th. No, he's not. He's 4th. Chaz, get your words out. Come on. God, who nominated me? I'll tell you. Corentin, though. Thank you, mate. Corentin's working hard here to try and gain these places back, because even though it's almost certainly could win the championship, he needs those points still.
Yeah, he kind of, seeing that those two fiercely forward cars ahead, he's probably thinking,
Matthew.
I tell you what.
No! Matthew Crisp and Damien Harris both in the pits because of, I'm sure, probably incident points. Oh, man.
Oh,
that's team's
Ollie
championship.
Slade has got the driest teeth in the United Kingdom right now.
He will. That's team's championship. Massive stuff. There was, it's big damage to Damien's car, understandably. But there was 1 point in the team's championship between those two teams. Oh, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I mean, just coming back to Wijbicki, if I can, he could not have done any more to defend that position from Fraser Smith. He did everything in his power, and Fraser did a great job to get by. But let's have a look at that. Yeah, he did.
Oh.
I mean,
he just came over when there wasn't much need to, in my opinion, and it's obviously down to the stewards, but yeah, that's just.
If you're Damien Harris, you've got to be pretty pleased about that one. I would say. All I'll say is that.
Yeah, for sure. It was just a bit unnecessary. You know, it's close racing though, and you're going to see contact. It's just a bit unfortunate sometimes. The driver will think there's a gap there that you can slot into, and there just isn't, and I'm afraid that's the sort of thing that happens. However, we are on the final lap, and Fraser Smith will be very grateful for that. He's had to work hard for it. Started 6th on the grid. He had a very action-packed evening, as he always does, but the full send racing driver is going to do just what he did last season and take a race win. Round the final corner he goes then. Hands together for Fraser Smith. He comes out on top in what was a mental race. Naveed Hussein second. Norbert Lightner, that's his second podium in a row. Matthias de Tige just behind. Then it's Nico Vejbicki, Chris Wood, Keanu Bourguignon, Miguel Freitas, Gregory Franks, Corentin Guinez 10th. Wow.
Oui, indeed.
Anton Dupan wins consistency class. Joachim Gulbrandsen is going to win the academy class. Good racing there from the Sharebox TC Motorsport car. But Fraser Smith, wow. Catch your breath, indeed. That was strong. Strong, I think, is the word.
I'm going to go off and order some triple screens for my rig. It obviously worked. Obviously.
Well, yeah.
It's, brilliant start. I mean, who would have thought Corentin Guinez would have finished in the place he started?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we haven't seen that.
That was brilliant. I mean, if you don't like that, you don't like racing.
No, it's very true. It's, you know, that was just a lot of guys all in one big battle, just pushing as hard as they can to try and get any positions where they can, and the gaps don't always open up. And we said earlier, didn't we, that it's a difficult circuit to overtake on. You have to force the issue or just take an opportunity, and a lot of these drivers tonight were doing just that, and it was certainly a lot of fun to watch. So we thank the drivers once again for that. And Peter, if you could do us the honours, mate, we'll go through the final race results.
Okay, let's see how they finished then here in the third and final race of this meeting here at Brands Hatch in the Z1 dashboard. Simracersworld TCR Winter Series. Fraser Smith then confirmed after a tough day out on the circuit, he gets that win in the end, 1.7 seconds ahead of Norbert Lightner for HM Engineering. Good finish for Norbert. Matthias de Tige was third for Simracersworld Esports, with Nico Vejbicki finishing in fourth after leading for most of the race. Chris Wood finished in fifth, followed by Keanu Bourguignon, Miguel Freitas, Gregory Franks, Corentin Guinez, and Mats Borg Anderson rounding out the top 10. Ben Thanes was 11th, with Anton Dupan fastest in the consistency class, followed home by the incredible Jessica Myers, who's done a great job climbing up the field after a race 1 ban. Taylor Lane was 14th, with Bram Clays in 15th. Matthew Crisp was 16th after a little bit of argy-bargy, and Paul King finished in 17th. Fastest in Academy was Joachim Gulbrandsen in 18th, followed by Ross Nicholson, Jason Rowe, Scotty Angelo, Niels Mantanden, Mark Woodhouse, Daniele Guidici, Niels de Kuiper, Scott Malcolm, Ryan Walker, and Michael Blake. And finally, our last few runners: Jean-Louis Deschamps, Naveed Hussein, Jack Taylor, Jason Garrara, Damien Harris, Rob Jackson, Craig Schill, Ashley Gaffal, Neil Stevenson, and Dean Timms.
Now, I'm intrigued by that result because Naveed Hussein, 30th, he's 36 seconds off the lead, which makes me think he might have got a 35-second penalty or similar, because I'm sure he finished second in that race, didn't he? And Norbert Lightner was third, so I think he might have been given a 30. Sometimes you get a 35 or 40-second penalty for not serving. Say if you've got a drive-through for incident points or something like that. He might have got it on the last lap and just thought, stuff it, I'm just going to go to the line. But that's a real shame, that is, for Naveed, because he fought so hard in that race. I mean, all of them did, but Naveed just came through it all very, very quickly, and I don't really know where to start with that, but hopefully we'll have a couple of drivers in for an interview, and well, he's always keen for one anyway, and now we've got even more of a reason to have a chat with him because he's just won a race. Fraser Smith joins us in the box. Fraser, you must be sweating buckets after that, mate, but it looked like a lot of fun. I don't believe he's probably swamped by the triples, to be fair. Not quite sure. Oh, there's noise.
Chaz, you have to repeat that because I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I said you finally got a win. Obviously, the new triples seem to be working, as Peter and I have been poking at all night. But that looked like a lot of fun, that.
Yeah, that was, that's made me realise it maybe was worth the expensive week I've had. But no, that was great. Every race was just great fun. I reckon in the third race I might have had my elbows out a bit too much at the start, but sometimes you need to have it that way at Brands Hatch, really.
Well, I mean, as I joked at in the broadcast as well, now you can get your elbows out and see who you're elbowing out of the way with the with the triples. But just sort of tell us, for anybody that obviously doesn't know what sort of difference it could make, or if you have noticed any differences so far, what has been the main thing that you think having triples could improve over a single screen?
Well, my old setup was, it's not just a normal single screen. My TV was actually further away than my pedals. So, I got used to it, but I used to find it really difficult with just, accuracy on braking points and stuff. So now I'm a lot closer. That's definitely a lot easier. And also being able to see out the side windows, you can just, you can send it with a bit more confidence, I think that's the right way to have it. And I can have my mirrors on as well, so it's a bit more natural, more like a road car, more like what I'm used to. So I can't rate it highly enough, I would say.
Yeah, I'll agree on the mirrors point as well, because although we do get virtual mirrors a lot in sim racing that just float at the top of the screen and show us what's going on behind us with a high field of view, it is nice to actually look in the mirrors of the car, looking left and right and see what's there. It's very, very sort of reassuring to know that you can still do that. But this circuit and this car combo, we knew it would be good. Obviously, we had it last season in this championship as well. We've got Donington Park next time out for the final round. Do you think that you'll go well there as well?
I do hope so. I usually seem to go all right at Donington. I think that's where I got my first podium actually in this series back last season. I usually have some good results there. But I'm almost I'm sort of having to relearn a lot of stuff now, and let's see. I don't know.
Well, fingers crossed.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good fun at Donington. It promotes amazing touring car racing, especially the national circuit. Before we let you go, Fraser, as always, mate, do you want to give anybody a shout out?
Yep. Firstly, a big shout out to yourself for the race win. That was a good race.
Thank you, mate.
Well done.
Cheers.
And just everyone around me, like today, it's just great, and everyone from Simracersworld and Full Sim Racing.
Smashing. Good to speak to you as always, Fraser. We'll see you next week.
Cheers. See ya.
Cheers. Now, this is the part of the night where I'd love to start saying, oh, this guy had a great race, this guy had a great race. We've actually got nobody else waiting in the interview room at the minute. It's a shame, isn't it?
It's a bit of a pity. Yeah. It's a bit of a pity. They've all just been demoralised by the crusading triple screen warrior that is Fraser Smith.
I did speak to Corentin Guinez earlier on today, and he said he may be in for an interview at the end of the season when all is done. And it's Captain Hook himself, Anton Dupan, the man who has been racing with one hand for most of this evening. Anton, first off, what did you do, mate?
I just burned my hand, so 3 fingers of my left hand, so
ouch.
I can kind of half and half use my left hand on the steering wheel, but I have to shift down with my right hand as well. So, but it was pretty okay.
Well, I was going to say you did all right out of it, to be fair. I mean, you got P2 in class twice, and then you got a P1 as well, so not a bad night for you when it comes to championship points.
No, exactly. Finally, it's the first race I'm consistent, so it's clear that I belong in this class.
Definitely, mate. It certainly seems that way. How have you found it in the middle of the pack? Because it always seems that in the first few laps of these races, it really does check up quite a lot in the midfield. It seems like one of the more difficult places to be. Do you agree?
Yeah, certainly. It's very, very busy, but I just try to kind of keep out of the battles, just follow the flow and see where I could get.
And Donington Park, final race meeting of the season. It's a much wider and a little bit more of a forgiving circuit than Brands Hatch. Are you excited about going there?
Yeah, certainly. I wouldn't say it's more forgiving. Like places like the Old Hairpin, you have grass just right next to the curb, so if you go off a little bit, you're on the grass and you lose a lot of time. So I don't know if it's more forgiving, but yeah, I like it. We won the Belcar race there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did actually. Yeah.
Together with Keanu and the TCR. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, we certainly look forward to it as well. Of course, we send our best wishes to your hand and hope that you have a quick recovery, mate, and you as well, of course. Before we see you at Donington Park, though, there's always the question: do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, just Bart and Ian for putting this all together. It's one of the best championships I've ever been in. The racing is so close, so nice. So thank you to all the other drivers as well, and to my team.
Brilliant. Great to speak to you as always. Oh, sorry.
And to you guys, of course. I always forget.
That's all right, Anton. Thank you very much. We certainly love doing what we do, and we will hopefully speak to you again at Donington Park.
Thank you. Good evening.
Cheers. And, well, we can't leave him in the interview room without having a good chat with him. He got a class win as well in one of the races this evening. Unfortunately, the footage that we're going to show is him coming back on after an accident in race 3 with the man we just interviewed as well, actually. But I tell you what, Scott on Scott. Peter, do you want to take it away with Scott Malcolm?
I'd be delighted to. Scott, how was that for you this evening?
Oh, bloody brilliant.
We all needed a bit of cheering up today, didn't we? Because once again, for the God knows how many weeks in succession, they've told a bunch of Scottish people like us that we still can't go to the pub.
There's ways around that, you know that.
Have empty.
Let's hope the Scottish government don't hear that.
I like yeah, look, Nicola might be listening. Yeah. Chaz is probably thinking, what on earth we were talking about here, Scott?
I know, we're talking about booze. We're talking about race.
There you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, God.
So we're off to Donington next time out. How are you feeling heading into that one, Scott?
I love it. I love Donington. Donington's pretty good with these cars. It's going to be quite fun, I think.
I know. Well, actually, of course, since we last spoke, we had a bit of good news. Not Kill coming to iRacing. How about that?
Oh, that's going to be brilliant. That's going to be that's just made my year. It really has, you know.
I think it's made a lot of Scottish people.
I don't know how you feel.
I peed my pants. I was so excited.
He probably just spilled a beer, to be honest, if anything.
I just about that there as well.
Well, also, Scott, we needed to ask, who did you end up voting for?
I'm going to keep that to myself.
Damn it, Connery Maddock. Right. Fair enough. But
My
no.
parents always taught me that. You keep what you vote for a secret, son.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play. Well,
Because the 2 years on that, I didn't vote.
oh, fair play. Well, we appreciate that, Scott, because at the end of the day, whether you voted for one of us or not, it still keeps it a dead heat, so I like that. But yeah, Donington next week should be a lot of fun. Last round of the championship. Are you hoping to gain a couple more points in that consistency class?
Yeah, I hope so. I thought I was going to get quite a few points tonight. I got more than I usually get, but I was really hoping to get another podium in consistency in that third race, but shit happens.
That's how you want to put it on stream, yeah, it does. But yes, I mean we've got a very short season, obviously, to deal with, so it's always going to be tough. But hopefully, when we see more of it in the future, then we'll have you on the grid for that as well. Very finally, do you want to give a quick shout out before you go?
Yeah, and just everybody for organising this series, yourselves for commentating on it. Not telling you who I voted for, and all the other guys that are racing in this, and obviously Team Mad as well.
Cracking. Great as always, Scott. Thanks very much for your time. We'll see you then.
No bother.
Cheers.
See you later.
Nay bother as well. What a great way to sign off an interview. I love that. Absolutely love it. Apologies for Scott's language there, everybody, but at the end of the day, we all know how relaxed this can be in these scenarios. It's not going out on BBC or ITV anyway, but Peter, we've reached the end of another fantastic night in this championship. Only one more to go, mate. However, tomorrow we're doing the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship again, so you and I will be back in the box. But this one's gone by a bit quickly, I think, this series. I want to do it again, now.
Oh, I think maybe in the not too distant future we are going to get a bit of an opportunity to do it all over again, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Maybe we'll have grown up by then, but highly unlikely.
Definitely, mate, definitely. We'll still be calling Keanu Bourguignon Beef Bourguignon, bless him. But at the end of the night, it's Corentin Guinez who has once again cemented himself as the guy to beat here. Damien Owen Harris and Matthew Crisp having a very dramatic couple of incidents in that final race. The team's championship will surely be shaken up some more. And we only have one race meeting to go in the Z1 dashboard, Simracersworld TCR Winter Series. Thank you very much to my co-commentator Peter MacKay. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been Simracersworld TV. We'll see you in a week.